The recent release of Marvel's What If trailer has left Marvel fans with a lot to unpack, showing a vast array of different possibilities for how the events of the MCU could have played out. We are shown a reality in which Eric Killmonger saves Tony Stark's life in Iron Man 1, an alternate Avengers roster during their debut, and a hint at the final MCU performance of the late Chadwick Boseman as a Ravager. But one aspect of the trailer might have more significance in the wider MCU going forward than we previously thought. One of the realities shows Peggy Carter being the recipient of the Super Soldier treatment in 1941 and taking on the monitor of Captain Carter. She becomes the one to lead the Howling Commandos into battle, and Steve Rogers becomes the pilot for an experimental Iron Man armor known as the Hydra Stomper. But is it possible that this storyline and the news surrounding it actually has a greater impact on the overall MCU? The news in question is that Hayley Atwell, famous for portraying the live-action Peggy Carter, would not only be lending her voice to the animated project, but is rumored to be taking up the shield in live action, alongside none other than Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. If this is true, then this would mean that the What If episodes that we are set to see are not in fact simply fun alternative storylines, but are actually tangible branches of the multiverse that these characters can venture into and explore. They could mean so much more. The brand new What If project could be in fact a glimpse into the multiverse that was just recently opened, and many of these seen storylines could be carried on in live action in the near future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is notable that not all of the MCU mainstay actors will be reprising their roles for the What If series, with Robert Downey Jr. being perhaps the most notable, though no alternative voice actor is listed in the credits. Any avid MCU fan was able to tell within a matter of seconds that this Tony Stark was not voiced by Robert Downey Jr. Other notable absentees are Chris Evans, Benedict Cumberbatch, and Brie Larson, who are conspicuously absent despite their characters being set to play a role in the What If series. Steve Rogers was seen in the same Captain Carter episode, piloting the Hydra Stomper, and Doctor Strange is set to lose someone very close to him and take a more darker turn in his mystic training, as well as interact with Captain Carter and other What If cast members. Though Carol Danvers doesn't seem to have a notable presence in the trailer, it is unlikely that a character of her stature will be left out of the series entirely. Is it possible that these voice actors are set to take on the mantles of these iconic characters in live action via the use of the multiverse? If plans are in place to adapt these storylines into live action in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, or further down the Multiverse saga, then it makes sense as to why some of the retired MCU mainstays are not returning for the voice roles, setting the seeds for these alternative multiverse variants to make their debuts. Keep in mind that this does not mean that the MCU is seeking to recast characters like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers in the long run, just that they are interested in giving fans an alternative version as a glimpse into what could have been. Just because another actor may take an iconic role such as Tony Stark or Steve Rogers does not mean that they will seek to overshadow or replace the iterations portrayed by Chris Evans or Robert Downey Jr. In the narration of the trailer, the watcher talks about how each universe is different and how time and reality are changeable, seemingly adding credence to the idea that these episodes aren't just fun thought experiments, but have larger ramifications on the future of the MCU as a whole. These are seemingly set to be their own, fleshed out universes that exist somewhere in the vast multiverse. But how often they are touched upon in the future of the multiverse outside of the What If series remains to be seen. However, I speculate it will not be very often at all. Some universes, such as that of Captain Carter and the Hydra Stomper, may be explored in depth in a future live-action project, while others may live out their existence in the What If and be left alone going forward. But if these reports come true, and Hayley Atwell is in fact set to take up the live-action mantle of Captain Carter, then the multiverse as we know it may have just gotten much larger. But anyway, my friends, what do you think of this news? Would you like to see these What If projects adapted into live action in the future? And do you think that anything that we see of What If could lead into Multiverse of Madness or elsewhere? And how would you feel about seeing a lot of the What If series be seen in live action? Maybe not in their own specific movie, but show up later down the line in other larger MCU projects. As always, my friends, hit that subscribe button to assemble and join our team, and have a great day.